The movie revolves around two ideas, tradition and transformation. An ambitious and hardworking girl wants to restore a lighthouse, while another person decides to rebuild and transform it. The story also focuses on love, reunion, and togetherness. The film begins in France, with the lead character, Moriah riding her bicycle past a lighthouse. She pauses for a moment and looks at the lighthouse. She says to the lighthouse that it will be beautiful again. After seeing the garbage, she hopes people will one day respect the lighthouse. She then rides her bicycle through the town streets, and people offer her various gifts. She arrives at her studio, where she works as a woodworker. Ben McCain arrives in the same town and asks a man for directions to the hotel, Castle Busite. He is walking in the middle of the street when he is struck by Moriah's bicycle. He falls to the ground but is not hurt. Moriah tells him it is his fault because he is walking on the wrong side. She then arrives at her aunt's hotel, the Castle Busite, and hands over some letters to Jacques. Her Aunt Catherine also arrives and tells Moriah that she may change her mind about Jacques someday, but Moriah responds that Jacques is similar to her brother. Moriah tells Catherine about her today's visit to the lighthouse. She wishes to purchase and restore the house of its keeper. Catherine offers her some financial assistance, but she politely declines, stating that she wants to buy it herself. Ben arrives as they are both talking. He informs Catherine that he has collided with Moriah's bicycle. Catherine introduces herself and Moriah to Ben. She leaves for work after telling Moriah to take Ben to his room. Ben is surprised to learn about Moriah's skills as a woodworker. Moriah informs him that she grew up on this small island and acquired these skills. Ben is impressed with Moriah's talent. She then delivers some furniture to her client, Bridget, who likes it. Bridget explains that when she tells people that a local female artisan made the furniture, they are surprised. Bridget is optimistic about Moriah, believing that one day she will have time to enjoy herself. Ben arrives as Catherine and Moriah are discussing some designs with Jacques. He is looking for an English restaurant because he does not know French very well. He is surprised and impressed by the arbor designs made by Moriah. He informs them that he is an architect. Catherine claims he is different after his departure, but Jacques is skeptical. At night, Ben tries to charge his phone and laptop, but the power goes out due to an overload. The next morning, Jacques is irritated, but Moriah asks Ben to use the app to learn the French language and signs. When Ben asks, Moriah suggests that he go for a walk or ride his bicycle around town. Ben joins a group of bicyclists. Moriah is talking to Bridget when she sees Ben carrying his bicycle. She and Bridget talk to Ben and make fun of him. Moriah takes Ben to her studio and shows him the tools of his grandfather, who was an excellent carpenter. She tells him that her grandfather used to say that woodworking provides the most intimate connection with nature. They meet Maurice, the flower man, and he takes them to a restaurant. After ordering some food, Moriah tells Ben about her family history. She tells him that her mother's family founded the inn, while her father's family was in charge of the lighthouse. Ben keeps trying to learn French and enjoys his stay in France. Catherine informs him that Moriah's parents died when she was a child, and her grandfather raised her. Ben compliments Moriah on her talent before Catherine. Catherine informs Moriah about her conversation with Ben. She encourages Moriah to spend time with Ben because she believes they share common interests. Moriah states that she never dates tourists. Moriah asks for Jacques' assistance in transporting some arbors. Ben assists her because Jacques has gone somewhere. After some time, Moriah notices Ben, who wants to visit the lighthouse. She joins him and informs him that she wishes to purchase and restore the lightkeeper's house because her family once lived there. Before Ben can tell her anything, Moriah notices a man exiting the lightkeeper's house. The man introduces himself as Nicholas Martin, and he has hired Ben as an architect for this project. Moriah is shocked to learn this and departs. Ben tries to explain that he is hired by Nicholas to design his house and has no idea whose land this is. Moriah does not listen to him and returns home. She is telling her Aunt Catherine about the lightkeeper's house when Nicholas arrives. Catherine is taken aback to see him, and Moriah has no idea what is going on. Nicholas is Catherine's former boyfriend and lover, who has returned. Catherine asks Nicholas to leave. Nicholas informs Ben that he grew up on the island and met Catherine here. He wants to regain his feelings. Catherine informs Moriah that she met Nicholas while he was in the military and wanted to study medicine in America. He was sent to war with the Americans, but Catherine was unable to accompany him because Moriah's parents had died when she was young. Moriah feels bad for her aunt, who chose her over her love. The people of the town change their attitudes toward Ben, and he tells Moriah that he never intended to hurt or ruin people's lives. Moriah tells him that they are all like a family. She believes that the people in your life are everything, and if one of them is hurt, they all are. After a while, she realizes that Ben is simply doing his job and has nothing to do with her dreams. She meets Ben again, and she apologizes for the misunderstanding. Ben asks her to tell him what she plans to do with the Lightkeeper's house. She shows him the keeper's house and tells him about her father's dream of buying this house. Moriah becomes emotional as she explains that this house tells the story of her family for generations and is all she has left of them. Nicholas approaches Catherine and asks why she did not tell him about Moriah and why she stopped responding to him. Catherine stated that she wanted him to pursue his dreams. Nicholas tells her that she was included in his dreams, but he didn't get them, which is shocking for Catherine. She simply leaves after apologizing to him. Nicholas and Ben meet again and sit down to talk while Catherine informs Moriah about Nicholas. She tells Moriah that things never go as planned, but one must move forward. She gives an example, stating that she has been angry at the world for a long time over a variety of issues, but she no longer wants to be angry. Ben visits Moriah's studio and helps her with her work. He informs her that Nicholas' intentions are solely to live in the place he loves the most with his loved ones. He also wants Moriah to take on the project of restoring the home. Moriah hesitates at first, but Ben encourages her to do it for herself, and she happily agrees. Ben and Moriah arrive at the Lightkeeper's house with their team. Moriah reminds the team that their goal is preservation. She suggests that they care for the house in the same way that they do their own. They start working, and Moriah tells Ben about the various items in the house. While working, Ben discovers a secret passage to the basement and informs Moriah. They both go down and find some old love letters, among other things. Catherine visits Nicholas and expresses her gratitude for changing his plans for the lighthouse. They decide to cook something together. Ben and Moriah read all of the love letters and discover that they were all written to JP during the war. They both go to Catherine and tell her about the letters. Catherine tells them that Moriah's grandfather's middle name was Jean-Paul, JP, and that her family provided shelter for him during the war. Moriah's grandfather and his lover, Adrian, did not marry until after the war, and the love letters were written before they met. Ben and Moriah talk about their plans to restore the Lightkeeper's house, and Moriah is impressed with his ideas. They spend time together and enjoy coffee. Moriah says she never imagined that a French builder and an American architect would work together. Moriah tells Ben that she has finished reading the remaining letters without him. They talk about Moriah's grandfather's painting. Moriah was unaware that her grandfather was a painter. Nicholas and Catherine come to see Moriah and Ben working. Nicholas admits that Moriah has taught him to fight for what matters most. He expresses his gratitude for her. Catherine informs them that Nicholas is taking her to dinner. Moriah reads the last letter and discovers that it was written before Adrian departed for Paris. She mentioned a jewel-shaped rock where she and Moriah's grandfather had planned to marry. Ben wonders what happened in Paris since she did not return. Moriah says her grandfather never married a woman by a rock. Suddenly, Moriah remembers that she knows where the rock is because her grandfather once took her there. They both talk about love, and Ben asks Moriah if she has ever fallen in love. She admits she has never been in love and asks Ben the same question. Ben responds in the same way, and while laughing, he unexpectedly kisses Moriah. Jacques asks Catherine about Moriah, and she tells him that she is very happy. Catherine and Nicholas go sailing, where he proposes to her and presents her with a ring. Moriah is happy to know this. Finally, Moriah's dreams come true, and her restored house is before her eyes. She and Ben appreciate one another for their hard work. Moriah admits that he makes her smile, and she has enjoyed the past few months with him. They both ride to the rock shaped like a jewel and see the house mentioned in the letter. They visit the house and meet an old woman who tells them that the lover of Moriah's grandfather is her aunt. Adrian went to Paris and died there. The old woman shows them some of Adrian's belongings and says that the heart is a wonderful mystery, powerful enough to move mountains and delicate enough to shatter at the slightest touch. She further says that if we don't love without restraint, we risk missing out on life's greatest gift. Katrina and Nicholas are going to get married, and Moriah is very happy. Catherine asks Moriah about her plans, and she says she will never leave her parents' town and her aunt. Catherine advises her not to repeat the mistake she made. Nicholas and Catherine get married and dance happily. Ben compliments Moriah's beauty and holds her hand for a dance. He tells her while dancing that he got a job call from Chicago. Moriah gets emotional and asks him to go. Ben gets ready to leave with a heavy heart. Moriah talks about her views about love while weeping and congratulates Catherine and Nicholas for finding their love. She leaves while crying, and Jacques goes after her. He recalls how he and Moriah used to stare at the sky in their childhood through papers, pretending they were astronomers. He encourages her, saying that she is the brightest star in the sky. Moriah runs after hearing the horn of leaving the boat. She reaches the lighthouse tower and tries to signal Ben, but it does not work. Ben, who is leaving on the boat, is met by Maurice, who makes him realize that he should not leave Moriah. Ben decides not to go and asks to return the boat. He steals a lifeboat and meets Moriah, who is standing near the lighthouse. He confesses that he cannot leave her. They both confess their love for each other. The lighthouse signal turns on as they kiss. Catherine and Nicholas go on their honeymoon after handing over the lightkeeper's house, saying that now it belongs to her. The movie ends with Ben and Moriah living happily in the lightkeeper's house. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and turn on the notification so you won't miss the next recap. Until then, cheers!